Avast me arties! It be good to be back. And as you can hear, I be having a fan at the background, so sorry about that, but me room gets very hot in the summer, so it is necessary. And today, I have to ring the alarm bells because because the Karens of Congress are uniting to make karentron defender of the privileged and entitled, and we have to fight back against them because you know what these women want. They be wanting more censorship from Facebook. Don't believe me? About 100 female lawmakers have decided to write a letter to Mark Zuckerberg in order to combat more misogynies on the damn platform. Especially hateful content directed at female public figures. Oh, that is exactly what misogyny is. Good writing, journalists. And this letter was written by the especially mentally interesting people of the current U.S. Congress, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who tried to implement communism via environmentalism, or someone like Nancy Pelosi, who thinks she is an Indian when she has less DNA of an Indian than the average American, or Ilhan Omar, who tried to marry her brother in order for her to get her brother in America illegally. All great candidates to write this letter with no controversy at all, and they are picking up the fight against misogynies on Facebook, even though Facebook is one of the most censorious big tech companies out there that is already doing that already. So there be more misogynies to censor out. But there's a but to it. All these people that I named are people who make themselves out to be the victims. And the reason why they call themselves, why they make them out as victims of hatred and death threats, even though that might not be true, we don't know because they don't tell. They do it because it gives them power. I'm not kidding. Because when a woman cries about sexism and racism, that calls immediately hurts, but when a man does it, then he's made fun of it. And that is a very dangerous double standard to have. Because men are usually the ones who are the victims of most violent crimes, hate attacks, and whatever else. And during this, and what I found more was an entire interview with the representative Jackie Spider from California's 14th district. And what they're going about is what is going on Facebook, because apparently someone parodied Nancy Pelosi to edit her video to make her look drunk. And I have to say, if you cannot take the heat of an insult, then femininity is the most fragile of the two sexes here, not masculinity. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, you are in Congress, you are a leader, and you are brought to tears and asked for censorship because someone made a insulting video of you. I mean, wow, Nancy Pelosi, you make not the best leaders. Because of persistent misogynies. And I would like to know, what kind of misogyny are we talking about here? Because things are a bit vague when it comes with these kinds of women. And they want to keep things vague, like you are not allowed to talk about hate speech. And that is some of the content that they're trying to attack. Hate speech. And you know what the problem is with attacking hate speech? It's because you're attacking free speech. Because the reason why we're protecting free speech is to protect the opinions that are unpopular instead of the opinions that are popular. And the reason why we're doing that is because sometimes the opinions that are unpopular are the opinions that are the right thing to do. Sadly enough. And they are making this letter in order to get more power for their governments. And you know what that means when governments grow? They become more tyrannical, and there'll be more censorship than ever before. If you thought that Facebook was bad, then you have no idea how bad it will be when the government is involved. I mean, look at China. They have their own internet system. They are not allowed to speak. They have a social currency system where if you say anything negative about the Chinese government, then you'll be excommunicated from your friends and family because your social currency will be reduced and you will have nothing. And that is exactly what these ladies want. Because when you have the power of the narrative, then you'll have the power of the minds of the people. And when you have the minds of the people, then you have absolute power. Because you can make them believe anything you want. And the biggest attackers for them is because they think that the algorithms for Facebook are radicalizing people. And I have to say to that, you're wrong! Because a similar argument happened to YouTube. The site I am on, also on BitChute, follow me there as well if you want to. And you know what happened there? It was proven wrong that the algorithms for recommendations made people more radical. It was actually the news that made people more radical than people on YouTube. And I'd be the one that be crazy. That be true, of course, because I've a bit of multiple personality disorder. But don't mind that. I love multiple voices in my head. And they're using that argument in order to grab more power. And the funny thing is, they be thinking that sexist people on the interwebs, what I do believe still exist, but they're in such a low minority that I think you have a better chance to find a woman who is sexist to men than the other way around. But I could be the one in the wrong here. Maybe. That's why I ask you guys to criticize me, because criticism is always useful, and you guys are kind of my fact checkers. When I'm wrong, I'll admit it after I've thrown you overboard to make an example of you. I be a captain and you should never doubt the captain. Unless I say something wrong, then you should doubt me. Continuing onwards, in the end, and after this entire interview, they came to the conclusion that misogyny, racism, and the other isms, whatever, and other isms and phobes will be targeted from Facebook. What is to me, if you have the opinion that we don't like, we will call you a racist or a sexist. Anyways, I be Pirate Captain Toast. This here be me Till. You'll subscribe to me channel to join me crew, the Toast Pirate crew, who send me messages on Twitter. It be my pirate's mailbox. Follow me on BitChute as well. I like to be stalked. And I'll see thee next time when I find another treasure trove of idiocracy during 2020. And I bid thee farewell.